Hello, successful people.
Welcome back to the Iron Fire Success channel. I'm DK.
And I'm Mo.
Thank you to our subscribers.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk about 11 upgrade and design ideas and whether they should make a comeback.
Or if they should stay played out. Let's get into the video. Before we get into our list, let's just say now, Mo, that there are some things on this list that we're calling old school and design ideas, that it depends on what part of the country you live in, what style of housing it's in, what region it's in, and because each region may have a different style. We're in Texas, so we're just talking about the things that we're seeing now that are done in houses versus things that we see that are no longer done in houses.
Right.
Okay. So number one, old school upgrade or design idea is the laundry chute. Now, we used to see this back in the day in houses that had 2 and 3 stories where they would just build a laundry chute and just drop the clothes in, right?
I think it would be a great idea for a 2-story house, particularly if you have a large family.
Yeah, and you just drop it in the chute, right, in the bathroom somewhere, and it goes down to your laundry basket.
Right.
Okay, so we both think that's a yes. It's something that should make a comeback?
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Number 2 is the whole house intercom. Remember back in the day when they had the panel on the wall and you would push the buttons or something and you would be able to talk to people in different rooms? I mean, I guess... What did you say what was that, Alexa drop in now?
Yeah, Alexa now, you can use Alexa to drop in on your kids in any room, but old school, the system was wired, literally wired, and you had to go to the intercom system on the wall, like near your light switches, press a button, and you could communicate with folks throughout the house.
So is that something that we think, would be convenient? Because now everybody has a cell phone, you just call people on the phone. But if you could, would you want to just, push a button and be able to talk to somebody in whatever room you want?
Well, I guess if your Wi-Fi is down, it'd be effective.
Is it something that you would like to see come back or not?
For me, it's a no.
Okay, for me, it's a maybe. It kind of depends, right? Okay, 3 is the usable attic. Now, we'll put up pictures to show you what we mean by usable attic. And I know that it's the thing that horror films are made of, right? Where that's where you have the creepy dolls and the weird stuff is in the attic. But there are lots of houses that have an attic that you could actually walk in there. They have rooms. It's not somewhere where you have to crawl on your hands and knees,
right.
And you can't get into. And that is regional too, because I'm sure there's a lot of places where new homes are being built where they have attic space that isn't just, creepy storage.
Yeah, particularly depending on the pitch of your roof and how they build a house. But in the older houses, pretty popular thing. So something that, depending on how I built my house, I would do that.
Okay, so that's a yes for you.
For me, it's a yes.
For me, it's a yes too. I wouldn't have been mad if that happened in the house we're in now, or if we had some space up there where you could actually have a room where it wasn't like just a creepy place where the spiders and scorpions hang out.
But design-wise, I would actually put steps, not the pull downs.
Oh yeah, like real steps. Okay, number 4, and this is a throwback, the dumbwaiter. I don't even know how many people now know what that I do, because I come from New York where there are a lot of old buildings where the dumbwaiter wasn't operational, but you could see where it used to be.
And no elevators in every building. So, right?
Right. That's true. That's true. A lot of buildings and restaurants used to use it back in the day where you would deliver food. And that's the way that the food would get up and down, when they used to have a milkman come. I'm talking way back. But the idea is kind of fly now that I think about it, because if we had a house that had 2 or 3 stories, you had a basement, the first floor, the second floor, the attic, yeah, I would want to be able to push my whole house intercom and tell somebody in the kitchen, can you put some chicken wings on this dumbwaiter, push the button and have it come up without running up and down stairs. I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Yeah, and the dumbwaiter is similar to the laundry chute, where you have this opening, and I think, what do they do, pull it?
Well, 200 years ago, it was a pulley, but, we got
They have electric ones now.
Like elevators.
So yeah, so now you can stick stuff in. Like say you had a upstairs game room or your entertainment room was upstairs, and you had a dumbwaiter that went down to your butler's pantry or to your kitchen, where hey, hey honey, send up some wings, and you better send them up through the dumbwaiter up to your game room.
I'm all for easy. That to me seems like something that would make it easier. So it's a yes for me. I would say, yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
if you had a
that.
2-story house with a game room upstairs, it's a yes for me too.
Yeah. Now, I guess multiple story house when you think about it, not just two, but
True.
two or more. The eat-in kitchen. So the dumbwaiter was a yes from both of us. The eat-in kitchen, for me, I remember having a house where the kitchen was actually a separate room and it was huge. You may have an island in there, you would have a table and chairs in there, but it was a separate room, and this was before all of this open concept. So, I mean, the open concept is cool. Like where we're sitting right now was supposed to be a dining nook. So the kitchen is right there, the living room is right there. It's all one big giant room. And I don't know, I'm kind of thinking I'd be fine if the kitchen was actually one room, because as we were talking earlier today, I don't want people to have to walk through the kitchen to get everywhere in the rest of the house. So I would be fine with having one separate room that's a big eating kitchen and not this open concept thing.
Yeah, I like the more modern concept, but I do understand being able to kind of isolate all of the food and everything to the kitchen. Plus, in our house, Mama had plastic on the couch, so you weren't going to eat anywhere else except in the kitchen. No food left the
Right.
kitchen. So,
Right.
But for me, I like the more modern, open style.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about everybody walking through the kitchen to go everywhere. So that's a thumbs up from me, thumbs down from you. Okay, the standalone fireplace. This is also a back in the day thing, but it's still being done in a modern way. And we have pictures for that too, where it's like back in the day, it was part of the heating system of the house that, you had to have this kind of potbelly stove or this standalone fireplace. But now, I've seen some on Amazon that look pretty cool, and some that are the kind of thing that some seriously high-end luxury homes might have.
Yeah, and you know what? I like this idea as well because they've updated this. They've gone a long way since the potbelly stove. It's something that may be really great too out on the patio.
Yeah.
Especially if you have pre-plumbed gas lines and such. You could drop you in one of these modern style
Yes.
standalone fireplaces. So that's a thumbs up for me.
Yes. And indoors too, thumbs up?
Indoors too, yeah, depending
Okay.
on the kind of style of house. Yes, I
Yep.
would do it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, number 7, the real utility sink. Now, this is something that might, maybe it was like a health hazard or a biohazard, but I don't know if y'all remember back in the day where there was like a sink in the garage or a sink in the laundry room, and it was that beat down, jacked up sink where you used to
Rinse
just
everything
throw
down the
everything,
sink,
like
yeah.
sneakers, rinse off in the sink, paintbrushes. And now, when you go into new homes, even ours, like there's like $1,500, $2,000 sinks in your
Yeah, you're
laundry
not
room.
pouring that down my
No,
sink.
you are not doing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you think? Should there be at least one sink in the house that's like the jacked up sink that isn't all cute and pretty and nice that you could rinse off stuff and not worry about it?
Well, for me, it's not necessarily inside of the house, but I think in the garage, if you do a lot of crafts, if you do a lot of painting and craft
Mechanic
type things,
stuff,
you may
hands.
want to have a sink in the garage. But now with some of the modern code and with the water systems and contaminants in the water, all these things like that, don't get too heavy with it. But for me, in the garage, I can see that depending on the type of work that you do, or if you do a lot of around the house stuff projects.
And maybe it's still done in some places, but here in
Yeah.
Texas, every laundry room has got like
Hey,
a
my
farmhouse
brother-in-law, my brother-in-law who does a lot of construction work actually does have a utility sink in his garage.
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay, number 8. And this might be a regional issue too, but having an outdoor access from your laundry room. Now, back in the day, the mud room was the laundry room because this is where you had a side entrance or a side door where you could get in there from outside, and everybody knew, like nobody was using the front door, right? As a kid, you were not walking in the front door of your house. If you had a house, you were coming in the side or the back or somewhere, take off the clothes that you played in or whatever, and before you actually came into the house. But now it's like through the garage, I guess.
And when we're saying outside, we mean true outside, where before there was these garage entrances. We're talking about when you walked up from the snow or from being outside, you literally walked into a mudroom, an actual mudroom.
Okay, so is that something that you think should come back? And it might still be the case, because there is a difference between living somewhere like this, where everything is driving in garages, versus when we lived in a more urban environment back in Maryland, where you actually had sidewalks and people walking down the street.
Yeah.
But so yes or no?
For me, no. I like the concept of having the mudroom, laundry room type situation.
Yeah, I think if we lived back on the East Coast, where it was a more walkable neighborhood, I would want another way of getting in, which actually leads us to number 9, which is houses that have more than one entrance. Right now, there's the front door and then there's coming in through the garage, but I haven't seen where most people have an official back door where people can, nobody's walking all the way around the house. There's no side entrance. And that's kind of could be regional or back in the day thing where you did have more than one entrance to your house.
For me, I kind of like the modern style, but I guess given a different situation, depending on what region, I'd probably consider something like that.
Okay, so that's a maybe, depending on where you are.
Maybe for me, maybe.
Okay. Number 10, the screened-in porch. Now, we're here in Texas, and almost no model homes, maybe one I can remember going in, that actually had a screened-in porch. What they do is have those electronic screens that will drop down over the whole porch. Yeah. But, our porch is in a regular shape, and you would need multiple, one this way, around the corner, to really have those drop screens. So we're thinking about doing a screened-in porch, but it's just not something you see when you go to new construction model homes. Not here. In South Carolina, we saw it.
Yeah.
But not here.
We pretty much decided that that's what we're going to do with our back porch. I like the screened in.
Yep.
I like
and
the screened in.
When we do it,
really
we'll put it on the channel and show you guys, but we're not fighting bugs every day.
And because we have the sun, the back side of our house is pretty much all windows, and the sun is on the west side. Yeah, east to west. Yeah. So the sun in the evening, the hot sun in Texas is brutal. It's on the sunny side. The back of the house is on the sunny side. So we're going to screen in. We're going to get the sunscreen to block some of that UV and some of that sun. We'll do some interesting stuff. So we'll do a video on it.
Yeah, but the bugs more than the sun.
The bugs, yeah.
The bug game is crazy here.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one, number 11, which is something that Mo was like, what is that? And I have a parlor or receiving room. So this is, I think, a back in the day thing where when you had company did not come into your main living room where the family hung out. There was usually that living room, parlor, or receiving room. That's where company came. That was the room where grandma had everything encased in plastic, and you could not go in there and touch anything or risk serious injury or death. So it stayed like that. And a lot of homes, that was up front. So you couldn't, in our house, because we have these double doors that open to the whole house, you can just walk right on in somebody's house and already be in there. It was like this waiting area, receiving room. I thought that was kind of cool. I guess it wouldn't really matter now because people aren't as formal and proper nowadays about that kind of thing. But I always thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, different time, different space. I guess you had door-to-door salesmen, and I don't know, folks just, the way that they entertained was different. It was
high society type stuff too in some places where it was this is my company room and this is where the family hangs out.
Yeah, I obviously was not from the high society. When you walked into our house, we had the living room, you were in with all that. You did have the plastic. I never knew what the furniture felt like. But
right. We know what it looked like. All right, so that was our list of number 1 to 11. And what are we saying about the receiving room? Not really, right? It was a cool concept, but
cool
don't really need it. So now we're at the end of our list of 11 old school upgrade or design ideas. And we're like, should they make a comeback? Should they not? Drop some comments and tell us what you think. And Let us know if you live in a region where it's not an old school upgrade, but it is a regional design style that you can still get where you live, because we cannot get that where we live in Texas.
And then please subscribe for more content about new home construction, model home tour in and around San Antonio.
Please subscribe to continue to follow us as we continue to turn our new construction house into a home.
As always, until next time, be peaceful, stay prayerful, and count your blessings.